Hello, you are listening to Faces for Radio with James Evans,
Miles Poole, and Alex Stratton-Lake.
Alright guys, we've got an issue which we need to explain to you today before we get started with the show.
We came into the studio and we found a little note saying the computer's crashed. So essentially we can't choose our own songs.
In fact, not only that, but we can't queue up any songs to play. So when we were planning to go to a song, we're now just going to go to a random jukebox, which could be between a song, in the middle of a song.
It probably will be halfway through a song.
It's going to sound absolutely awful,
for a few minutes.
So we hope you'll bear with us for that.
Even more reason to listen to Faces for Radio.
Faces for Radio on Raw. We've got a slightly changed schedule now. We're going to be doing a show every 2 weeks and a podcast every intermittent week, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
A podcast is going to be themed. It's going to be very exciting. We're going to have clips of people talking about crime and the economy and all sorts of important issues which we failed to tackle for the past 5 weeks on Faces for Radio.
Although I will just say as a disclaimer that, I mean, these won't be experts. These will just be random people, we're at campus, who won't have a backed-up opinion. And we'll just, we'll play off that. We'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes.
I mean, that's essentially what we've been doing for the past 5 weeks anyway, isn't it? I mean, we've just been coming up with unsubstantiated opinions on important issues and broadcasting them.
Or just issues that we found in the news.
Yeah, well, not that I think you'll find that a man with a buffalo as a pet is an important issue.
But to be fair, that made its way into the national newspaper, so...
Yeah, but I think that just shows what state the news media is in rather than how important that story is, surely.
That reminds me, if you'll remember, in our very first show we talked about, what was it?
You don't know what we talked about. You don't know. None of the listeners remember. We don't even remember.
6 phone boxes.
Oh, here we go. We're not going back to this. We're not going back to this. Oh, yeah, 6 phone boxes in Leamington.
That's important news, firstly. Secondly, my dad gave me showed me an image of 8 phone boxes.
Wow,
they weren't right next to each other.
No, I don't think that counts.
Discredits.
Does that count?
I'm impressed of the proximity of so many phone boxes.
You see, I can understand phone boxes. I can't believe we're going back to this topic. I thought this topic was dead and buried, but no. I can understand phone boxes because, years gone by, people didn't have access to mobile phones. People run out to the phone boxes. They always do that in films when there's breaking news to call a friend.
Do they?
Yes.
You've been watching a huge collection of black and white films.
Seriously, in older films, when there's a trial going on, there's a court verdict,
or something going on
all the journalists rush out to a phone box.
Well, I love it. Yeah, I know what you mean.
What I can't understand is why in Leamington there are 3 phone boxes together. 6, but no, 6. No, stop, not phone boxes. Letter boxes.
Oh, yeah, the letter boxes.
Post boxes. Because I can't understand a sort of trial going on and suddenly 3 people scrabbling to write a letter.
Let's leave this dead and buried.
Yeah, this conversation never flew in show 1. It's definitely not going to work in show 6.
Somewhere.
Okay.
Near each other.
Well, that's fantastic.
So.
Okay, well, I think it's time for a random song. We can't tell you what it is, nor can we tell you sort of where in the song it will resume. But this is going to be a song, and we hope you enjoy it.
This is Something by Someone on Faces for Radio.
It's you, it's all for you.
And that was Something by Someone.
That was Lana Del Rey, was it?
Was it?
That was one of the songs we were going to play a few weeks ago, but we didn't like it.
Okay, well, we've played it now. So there we go. We're a very much open-minded new music radio show.
We're glad we chose that song.
Yeah. I'm sorry, listeners. This show is just going to be a shambles, but thank you for bearing with us.
And unfortunately, you guys won't even be able to text or email in what song we are actually playing.
They can text in. We won't be able to read them.
Okay, well you can, but we won't be able to read it. So
why not give them the text number just so they can text in? No, we will make up some text though.
Yeah. If you had texted in, we'll make up what you could have said.
Okay.
Let's see how that goes.
Guys, we're back at uni after Christmas. Does anyone have any amusing Christmas anecdotes?
Over Christmas, you get together as a family, and
yeah, unfortunately,
and you end up playing games that no one really wants to play.
Yeah, charades, Pictionary, that sort of thing.
Talk about actually. One of the major players in this field is charades.
Yeah,
and one night we were playing a series of games, and then we decided to try out a new game called Tube Stop Charades.
Tube Stop Charades.
And it's basically charades.
Okay.
Try this at home.
I wouldn't recommend it.
No, do it.
Don't
it's
try
fun.
this at home.
It's fun.
Okay.
It was fun at the time.
Well, do explain.
You had to be there.
Do explain.
Okay. And basically, you do charades, but instead of films and books and things, you just do stations around London and maybe lines.
Mars,
It was fun.
I'm sorry, that just sounds awful.
I think I slipped into a coma for a couple of seconds while that anecdote was going on.
That just sounds like the worst game ever. Charades
Well, that's the
with
sort of thing
tube
that happens at
stations.
Christmas,
I think
isn't it?
you know it's going to be a bad game if you only play it at Christmas.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
Like, you know turkey's bad
Because
you
you only
eat
have it
at
at Christmas. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
agreed.
Yeah.
And yeah, at
presents are
Christmas
good.
everyone thinks it's the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Oh, we must have the turkey. Why? No one likes turkey. It's dry.
Just have chicken.
Yeah, it's just some
Like
chicken.
you have every other weekend.
James, hit me with a Christmas anecdote.
Christmas dinner was fun at my house. My nan brought along her new boyfriend. Bizarre,
saucy.
but yeah. Anyway, what? No, don't say that. My mum's listening to this. Yeah, he's a nice guy, an interesting character, but the discussions that were had at the Christmas dinner table were slightly left of field. How the EU had banned 50 types of cheese was one of them.
That's what the Occupy Warwick movement was about, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's all the same. It's all political, isn't it?
Wow.
And there was a long discussion on sexuality and whether or not that was fixed or genetic or how that was derived and whether or not being gay was a good or a bad thing. And it was really a discussion that I didn't want to have.
With your grandparents.
And it was quite horrible.
That does sound awful.
I mean, I excused myself as early as I could.
I mean, that's the problem, isn't it? With a Christmas dinner, it's quite difficult to excuse yourself.
I know, because
from
you've
the
got
table.
so much to get through, and I'm sort of relied upon, in my household at least, to consume the majority of the food. So,
I mean, teenage boys need to live up to that stereotype.
we would be missed at Christmas dinner. I think we all would. Whereas maybe, I don't know, like my sister wouldn't. You know, we could just get rid of her and no one would notice. Bit harsh.
Well, let's hope she's not listening.
Speaking of my family, we were supposed to devote a song to my mum, who's listening.
We obviously can't do that.
No, we were going to
Which is a
play.
shame.
So Val, we were going to play Valerie by the Zootons, but we can't because
can't now.
the computer system's down. So blame
It's a shame.
technology. Yeah.
Well, we'll have to
sing
dedicate just a random song.
Yeah. So I really hope it's an appropriate song. Mum, this is someone playing something on Faces for Radio.
That was Michael Jackson with Smooth Criminal.
Apparently.
Yeah. Never heard of it.
So, Val, I hope you enjoyed that song, because it's dedicated to you.
Yeah.
Dedicated to you.
Um,
If you're wondering why we're talking about Christmas 3 weeks after it's been Christmas, in our defence, it's only 347 days until the next Christmas.
Yay!
Get the decorations up.
Put Band-Aid on. Oh wait, we can't play any songs, but that's who we would put on. System still broken, Alec?
Yeah.
I think we've lost another computer, actually.
Oh,
No, it's back.
We
We
might.
don't really need to use that. Yeah, later
We
on.
may well just be broadcasting to ourselves at this point.
If you can hear us, we hope you're enjoying the show.
Yeah, we really do.
Okay, I think it's time for our premiere feature now of the show.
Yep.
I think it's time for the Would You Rather.
Oh, would you rather? Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Who's got the Would You
Right,
Rather for us
yeah.
today?
This week, got a rather good one. I heard this yesterday actually. Would you rather have £500,000 in the bank? So that's yours. You can use it, spend it wherever you like.
Sure.
Or have £1 million in pennies in your house.
Right. Can you bank the pennies, or do you have
No,
to?
you have to
you
spend them
as
as pennies.
penny coins.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
How much
People would
space?
hate you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would. You're buying anything which is like 10 quid or more. This is going to
probably-
take a while.
You could probably get away with like a little Milky Bar before.
Yeah. people
anything
start to
more
get
expensive
annoyed.
than that, people would
Yeah.
just be like, "God, you're joking, aren't you?"
I would take the pennies, and hear me out, because the 500,000 extra, you could pay people to avoid that embarrassment on your behalf, or to take the embarrassment on your behalf, if you see what
You
I mean.
reckon?
Yeah.
But think, you'd be caught in an infinite cycle where, okay, so you're paying someone to sort out all the pennies,
Yeah.
and then, but to pay them, you're going to have to sort out the pennies so you can give it to them.
No, but
So
you
then you're
pay
gonna have to
someone
employ-
else to do that.
And then, but then you're employing someone else.
It is a vicious cycle.
It's a vicious cycle. You're just going to be employing an infinite number of people.
To sort through these 1p coins.
Yeah.
No, you're overthinking it. You're overthinking it because you employ one person to go out and buy you something very expensive with a number of 1p coins, and then you sell that and then get something which isn't 1p coins, and it goes from there.
Whoa, I think that's
Is that
going
sort of
against-
cheating?
Cheating, yeah.
It's going against the sort of theme of the Would You Rather, I think.
Well, if you've got a better idea, do text in.
wait.
and
we've got a text.
we won't read it out. Should we pretend we got some text?
We've got a text to that already.
Oh, right, okay, what does it say?
It says, can I have both of them, please?
No, you can't do that, mate. Who's that from? What Joker is that from?
That's from a guy called John.
John, you!
John
You
Jones.
madman, you!
Although, now we can make up our listeners. We can have a load of
We've got
listeners.
so
We've got
many more.
another email saying, love the show, love that last song you played, and I'm going to love the next one.
Oh, who's that from?
Thank you from Joe.
Cheers, Joe. Cheers. Cheers for that.
Miles struggling to make up names there.
I've got a text through from...
Bob.
I was going for a woman's name.
Oh, Sheila.
I've got a text through from Sheila, which said, the guys are looking very good today. I've been watching on webcam all morning long. So,
Giving you a thumbs
thanks for
up
that,
on
Sheila.
that.
We're giving you a thumbs up on the webcam.
I forgot people could watch this through the webcam.
I know,
That's kind
it's-
of embarrassing.
It's not good.
I think it's a little sinister.
You sort of see us writhing in embarrassment when the computer systems don't work and we've got nothing to broadcast and we don't know what song we're going into and we've got no text coming in and we're making up names. It's a complete joke. This is Faces for Radio.
What's your opinion on the Would You Rather?
Okay, well, I'm just going to go for the easy option. Avoid infinite cycles or embarrassing sort of situations where you're just counting out one pennies. Gotta go with the £500,000 in the bank. I think that's quite a lot. I'm
Okay,
happy
so
with
you're
that.
choosing £500,000 over £1 million, which maybe explains why you're not doing a mathematical or scientific degree.
Yeah, maybe. But I'm just thinking, think of the mess of 1,000,000 1-penny coins.
Yeah, but for the £500,000, for even £500,000, you could buy somewhere more than ample to house that. many
What would
coins.
Val think?
I don't know. Text in, Val. We can't read out your text because the computer's down. Have we
she's
mentioned
already
that?
texted
Have we
in.
mentioned that? She's already texted.
already
You're
in.
now going to make up a text by my mum
Yeah.
who is listening.
It says,
here we go.
I'll have the pennies because you could sort them by weight.
Oh, okay. All right. There we go. That's a good response. Thanks,
good.
thanks
Well
for
done,
that,
Val.
Val. Thanks for that,
Thank
Val.
you for that.
I got a text from Bex who says, "Great show. I'd take the £500,000 in the bank account as I couldn't be bothered to sort through all those 1p's." Thanks, Bex.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Should we give you another half a song?
Who are you? Are you asking me? Are you asking Alec, who's on the desk?
It's a rhetorical question, but you can answer. For the
Okay,
audience.
listeners, this is
Another
someone
half of the song.
with something. Here we go.
That was The Fighter by someone.
Was it?
I think I recognise the name. I don't know who it's by. But
Gym Class Heroes. That was
Yeah, we
Gym
played
Class
that already.
Heroes on Faces for Radio.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
okay.
were forced to play that, weren't we?
yeah, that was one of the ones we were forced to play.
Okay.
This week we don't have to play any songs,
Yeah.
but on the downside we don't get to choose what ones we do play.
That made no sense. What Marv's means to say is we're not forced to play any of the songs off the playlist because the system's down, but we can't play any songs at all because the system's down.
Yeah,
Is that what you were
that's
going
what I
for?
meant.
Miles,
Thank you for clearing
we,
that up.
we didn't get your response on your very own Would You Rather. Would you rather take the 1,000,000 1p coins, or would you, not 1,000,000 1p coins, more than that, isn't it?
100 million 1p coins.
Jeez.
That's a lot
That's a
of
lot.
coins.
Maybe I should revise my response. But no, it's your turn, Miles.
Yeah,
It's your
I
turn.
think. I think I'd probably go for the 500 500,000.
You guys are
Because-
so boring.
Great
Because-
minds think alike.
With pennies, you can't buy stuff can't buy stuff online, but with money in the bank you can. And stuff online is a lot cheaper than stuff. So you could
They say it's half price.
Oh, I don't know if it's half price.
Not quite, but it wouldn't be that much.
Well, there we go. Okay, fair enough.
That's my logic on it.
That's a good,
Basically.
that's good
Yeah.
enough response. We'll accept that. We'll accept
that
it.
alright?
Yeah.
Okay, so, you know, this is our first show back from our amazing Christmas special last term. So, just sort of reacclimatising to university life, sort of. Our
Yeah.
living standards have now plummeted.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Hygiene is
I
down the
miss
drain.
that. I miss hygiene.
I mean, do your parents still wash you? Is that why your hygiene is still
No, it's just don't have time.
Don't have time, and yet we have quite a lot of time. Well, I do anyway.
I
at
got up early
university.
this morning.
Yeah, we all got
That's
up
the only
early
reason
to,
I've got time now.
to come into
I'm half asleep.
a studio which doesn't work, where we're broadcasting probably to no one, to produce a radio show which is
And I miss-
substandard even by our very low standards.
I miss cooked meals and I miss a nice bed.
Oh.
Nice comfy bed.
Oh, do you miss your parents?
No.
Oh.
Okay, well,
No. Yeah,
Harsh.
because if they're listening, yeah, I do.
Oh.
talking about hot meals, I think it's
Oh,
time.
no.
I
Here we
think it's
go.
time
Here we go.
for James's Cooking Corner.
It's James's Cookery Corner on Faces for Radio. Oh, I've got some amazing recipes for you guys this week. Starting off with noodle soup. First of all, take some 10p Tesco value noodles, put them in a pan, boil, bring to boil, and leave the boiling water in there once they've cooked. Then you've got noodle soup. That's what you got. You've got noodle soup. If you're then struggling with ingredients, I've got an amazing new recipe for you called crisp bolognese. Take what would be mincemeat and replace with crisp and cook a standard spaghetti bolognese. There you go, you've got crisp bolognese. It's absolutely fantastic. Now very popular, especially in many expensive restaurants, are dishes where you infuse alcohol with pasta, pizza, whatever. That's why I've got this amazing new dish called vodka pasta. Simply bring your pasta to boil in a pan of vodka and you've got vodka-infused pasta. It's absolutely delicious. I can't believe how delicious it is. This has been James's Cookery Corner.
Wow.
That
might have to try some of those.
That was it. Little disclaimer, we'd like to apologise for the vodka pasta recipe Mr. Evans recommended in the Faces for Radio Cookery Corner segment. This recipe was dangerous.
Yeah, as you guys know, I mean, vodka's highly flammable, so...
Don't try that.
Yeah, if you're trying to bring vodka to the boil...
You're doing something wrong, namely that.
So we don't accept any responsibility if you burn your eyelashes off or your house down.
Yeah. I mean, we were discussing this, because vodka is quite flammable, isn't it? Because you light Christmas puddings with, what is it you light Christmas puddings with?
Brandy.
Just getting back to Christmas,
Again.
which we
It's
said
not
we
long
were
till
gonna
Christmas.
stop discussing. How many days?
247.
There we go.
And
There we
counting.
go. Let's have a Christmas song. I mean, it might be. It might be on the
It might be,
jukebox.
but it won't be.
No, it won't. After Christmas, there was New Year's. Everyone have a good New Year's?
Yeah, it was nice.
I actually remember my New Year's, which is strange.
Well, that's probably the sign of a bad New Year's.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
Not that we advocate use of alcohol. God, we're boring on this show, aren't we? We are really boring. Ofcom has made us dull.
We only advocate the use of alcohol when cooking pasta.
Yeah.
But don't use
Massive
too much of
quantities of vodka.
or any of it, because it'll burn you.
Yeah, don't use any of it. New Year's resolutions. That's something people do, isn't it, pointlessly? And is great for us to discuss on the radio.
Aren't they?
What do you mean they're depressing?
Well, I think they are, because I mean, you try and think of ways to improve yourself,
Yeah,
in which
yeah.
you come up with far too many New Year's resolutions.
And you realise there's a lot of things wrong with yourself.
Exactly.
And you try to improve on those things, and within 2 weeks, you've given up.
You
and
inevitably
you've gone
fail.
back to
Yeah.
the appalling self you once were.
And you've realised you've plateaued, and this is all you're ever going to be.
Jeez, this is an upbeat morning radio show, isn't it?
Well, thank God there's only 347 days till Christmas to uplift our spirits.
Oh, sorry, I'm quite ill.
Have either of you had any New Year's resolutions?
I do. I'm going to consume more ethically.
Wow.
What?
I'm going to make sure that the food and clothes I buy are produced in a more ethical way.
You get unethical clothes?
Yeah, of course you can.
Tom's, the shoes.
Yeah, they're ethical and stuff, aren't they? They,
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Every time you buy a pair, don't they give another pair to
Yeah.
like
That's
someone less well off?
Ethical.
Could that be me?
No, I'm afraid not.
That'd be great if you were just accompanying a friend who bought some shoes, and because they bought some shoes,
And you're like, do
you
you,
got
want,
some
do you
shoes
want to
as
give
well.
these extra pairs to the third world? No, I'll give them to my mate.
Who needs them?
He's, you know, he's in debt. Maybe not as much as the third world, but he's still
Getting
in
close.
debt.
It's getting a lot
Is it getting
closer.
close, Alec?
Okay, Miles, what have you got?
I've endeavoured to read more.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
because Last year I didn't really read much.
Miles,
And then
you know
the
you-
year before. And the year before that.
You're doing a degree and you go to university. Shouldn't
no,
shouldn't you be doing quite a large
like-
amount of reading?
I should be.
But you're not.
No, I mean like just novels in my spare time.
Okay. And what are you kicking off with?
Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, okay.
I'm
That's
going to read the entire collection of Sherlock Holmes.
okay. That's not because you want to be fashionable, because there's a new Sherlock film out and there's a very popular TV series currently on.
No, it's because it's a big...
Yeah. I mean, you could have picked that book up at any time in your life, but you happen to be picking it up now at the height
Well,
of
that's irrelevant.
Sherlock sort of fashion.
Well, I mean, as our listeners know, we are all about being cool. So
Yeah, yeah.
I completely defend Miles on his decision
Yeah.
of novels.
Okay, fine. Incidentally, I've started to read The Hobbit, so I'm ahead of the trend. There's that film coming out next week here, isn't there?
Yeah, we've got the rest.
Yeah, well, the listeners might not, because they're not as nerdy as us, are they?
I don't know. You don't know who's listening.
We don't know who's listening. We don't know if anyone's listening.
Although, I mean, regardless of the fact that we don't know who's listening, I think it's a pretty safe bet that they aren't as nerdy as us. So we'll go with that. We'll go with that.
That's true. That's true. What else are we supposed to be discussing? Because we've done New Year's resolutions. There's not a lot more to say on that. Alec, have you? We haven't asked Alec. Have you got any?
I'm looking for a mating partner.
Okay.
From Bob saying he's attractive. I can see him on webcam. What's his number?
Well, I haven't specified what gender, so I'll be providing my number.
The number
To Bob.
is 075 071 87777.
Okay, well there we go.
There you go.
There we
Text
go.
Alec on that number.
That would be so amusing.
If
For the next
there are any women out there who are looking for love and have seen our own Alex Stratton-Lake and are still interested against the odds, do let us know. Join the Facebook page. Just search Faces Radio on Facebook, or comment on the YouTube channel, the facesradio.website.com. And let us know, and we'll have you in the studio, and it can be sort of a double date. A double date?
Me and James video
Yeah.
You've
Mystery
organised
person.
a date for me on the radio show.
It would be the best broadcast
be
we'd
entertaining.
ever had, probably.
Candlelit radio show.
Yeah.
Okay, well I'm looking forward to that awkward circumstance. Well, shall we put on another random song?
Yeah, I think it's time for
This song.
this song. Here we go.
Right. We've got a quite an amusing news story.
Don't make it sound like an exclusive, because
Yeah.
Breaking news.
About a week old now, so
So Anthony Worrell Thompson has been,
famous TV chef.
famous TV chef, has been found stealing cheese and wine from a supermarket, I assume.
Completely unnecessarily, of
Yeah.
course, because he's rich.
What's with that?
Yeah. Okay. Well, have any of you shoplifted that you're willing to admit to on air on Faces for Radio?
or admit that you've got an addiction to stealing.
Well, there is something I've been meaning to tell the listeners for a long time. I've been stealing their hearts.
Is that a good thing?
I think it's like romantic and stuff, isn't it?
Oh right, oh okay.
Is that-
Yeah. You don't know. You really don't know metaphors and sayings, do you?
in the
Alec?
future.
Okay. Yeah. You can use that if you like. You can use one of my lines.
I could use that on the date that you've arranged
Yeah.
for me.
You could say, I've got something to tell you. I'm a shoplifter. I steal hearts. There we go.
Great.
There we go.
Just,
Faces
some-
Radio, chatting up advice from the
Well,
Ebsmeister.
perhaps that's something we could sort of diverge into, sort of like a subsidiary.
Well, we could be a sort of dating advice show.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, two of us are in like really long-term relationships, and you're single. So do we?
got an offer
Are,
from
are
Bob.
any of us? Well, you're the only one really in the dating game.
Am I?
Well, that's what I'm wondering. I don't want to say it, but are you?
Well, we need to find out at some point.
Well, okay.
Who do we
well,
ask?
The audience.
We've, yeah.
Listeners.
Actually, I have a text here from another anonymous asking for your number. So there we
Roll
go.
it in,
Bit of a
roll it
gamble,
in.
don't know the gender.
There we go. Yeah. If you want, I'll just send your number back, but maybe not.
Right,
what
yeah.
are we talking about?
We're
Shoplifting.
talking about shoplifting. Stealing. Right. Yeah. kind of embarrassing story.
Go on then.
When I was, I must have been pretty young, about 5 or so, I don't know.
Okay.
Very young. Before I really understood the power of theft.
Okay.
Are
That's
you going to
the
start
power-
talking about your troubled youth?
disclaimer here, is it? Power of theft.
Before I realised how awful it was.
Yeah.
I went to a garden centre, and they had like a little aquatic section. And you know those little magnets with the bristles that you put on fish tanks, so you can like clean the glass
Oh yeah.
like, on the inside from the outside.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
They're fun,
For a
especially
5-year-old,
for a
yeah,
5-year-old.
yeah.
I saw it and I was like, wow, I've got to have this. And I was like, Mum, can I have this? And she was like, no, put it back. And I was like, Mum, I want this, can I have this? And she was like, no, go away, put it back. So, cheeky little me, as a little scamp running around, dropped it in her handbag.
What? So if she was caught, she'd be blamed.
Yeah.
That is very clever.
But then we got home, and my dad was friends with a guy that worked there, and she found it in her bag, and she was like, what's this? I know who's been doing this. She came up to me and she was like, what's this? And I was like, I wanted it.
That's how
I had
Miles spent 6 months in a youth prison.
And I had to take the little magnet back to my dad's friend and apologise for taking it.
Oh, Miles. You see, you say...
Now I know the difference between right and wrong.
No, you say you didn't understand, like, the concepts of theft before this, but you understood it enough that you knew you'd have to smuggle it out of the garden centre and you couldn't just carry it.
No, it was heavy.
Oh, yeah, yeah. A tiny little magnet was weighing you down. So you had
I
to-
don't even remember doing it. I was probably drunk.
You were drunk. Oh, wow. You did have a troubled youth then. At 5?
Probably having some of that vodka pasta that you previously recommended.
If any parent cooks their child vodka pasta in that way, then, well...
Before going to a garden centre.
You have to teach their child about theft.
Anyone else? Anyone else want to confess?
Well, this isn't a confession. This is more sort of a heroic tale.
Okay.
Well, not really, but I actually caught someone stealing. Again, sort of a very young age. And me and my friends sort of ran after him to try to...
What was he stealing?
Sweets, I suppose.
You ran after him?
Yeah.
Wow, you must have been
Not right.
popular. You and your friend, some kid from your school, assumedly, was nicking something from the corner shop, and you and your nerdy mates, probably including myself, were standing around going, "Oh, he's stealing! Get him! Get him! Run after him!"
Were they older or younger than you?
They're around the same age.
Yeah.
I didn't know them.
Were you
I
in a
wasn't-
bigger group though?
Well, there was 2 of us against 1 of him.
Oh, that's fair
So...
Jeez. I'm sorry, that's not heroic.
Did you
that's
get
just
a reward?
Embarrassing.
That's, I find that shameful.
Just embarrassing.
That's a sign of broken
Yeah,
Britain.
that's why
That
you were
I-
bullied at school, James.
No, I would.
Because you didn't stop people shoplifting.
I would. Yeah, because I didn't. When all the cool kids were taking stuff from the shop, I didn't go. Excuse me.
You don't do that.
Don't do that. That's wrong. Me and my friend are going to stop you.
Well, I was just upholding the law.
Yeah, you were upholding the law. Okay, I might do it now these days, and in fact, I think I did catch someone myself once, but I was working at the shop.
Ah.
Was it Miles? Because I've heard he steals an awful lot.
No, I was at Waitrose. And someone... Well, the thing is, I didn't know if they were stealing. It was one of these people... This makes me sound really upper middle class, but one of these people who picks up stuff in the supermarket and starts eating it before they've got to the checkout. And then they just scan through an empty crisp packet. It's not on.
That's not, yeah.
Not
I know what
on.
you
To be
mean.
fair, I've had that where I just went to Cost Cutters and just bought the most gigantic chocolate bar I could find. So it's like half a metre long, this thing. But the queue was really long, and I managed to just sort of eat the entire thing. By
Seriously.
the time I got to the checkout.
Seriously, are people not able to prepare themselves to the extent that they won't starve during the shopping trip, so that they don't have to gorge on the supplies they're purchasing?
I think that's kind of a male thing, though, isn't it? Like, males will only go out shopping when there's nothing in the fridge, there's no food in the house, and they're literally on the edge of starvation. They go,
Crawling to the shop, grabbing the first thing.
oh, better buy a packet of crisps.
Oh, honestly, I think that few people in Tesco or Asda would actually collapse if they didn't have that pack of crisps. They wouldn't actually die of starvation, would they?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
but do you want to test out that theory?
I do, actually.
I'm happy to test that
Yeah.
theory. We can have paramedics on the standby with those energy bars.
And silver foil jacket
Yeah.
things.
Oh,
The little
isn't that
blankets.
isn't that hypothermia?
I don't know, they give them to everyone.
I don't think that's
In the films they do.
I don't
If
think.
you give them all the medicine, then they'll be cured of everything, surely.
Okay, that's your medical training coming to the fore there.
Wow.
Okay, I think it's time for another random.
We
random
were going
song.
to play Cops and Robbers by the Hoosiers.
To fit in with the shoplifting thing.
But instead, we're going to play this. That was Rescue Me by Yumi at 6.
Good song, good song.
Yeah.
I mean, we started halfway through, but it sounded good, that second half. Next feature, we've got, who would you most like to have dinner with? Who would you most like to have dinner with? That was a jingle.
It's not quite as good as Would You Rather.
Oh,
no
all right,
offense.
okay,
No
well,
offense.
it was, mine was,
I think Alec will back me up.
mine was entirely improvised and not sort of rehearsed on the bus.
There wasn't a
If that makes
jingle.
difference.
You just said the name of the thing twice.
Who would you most like to have dinner with? Who would you most like to have dinner with?
James, can you please stop saying that?
I'm in a loop. I've broken down in a similar way to the
Like the
computer system.
system.
Yeah. Okay.
Right,
so past,
Anyone
present.
past or present?
I'd like to say Barack Obama.
Yeah.
I like how you put on your especially nerdy voice for that answer.
Obama.
Your politics voice.
The politics voice. The politics and IT voice. Alternatively, Stephen Merchant. I don't know Stephen Merchant. If he's
Well, I've heard that you were on sort of the
first
name
name,
basis.
me and Steve.
You and Steve.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
So you don't even need this hypothetical scenario because it will probably happen.
As
wouldn't it?
a former Raw broadcaster himself, I think we'd have a lot of common ground. We both like The Office,
Yeah.
as well, assumedly. I mean, I like it. I'm pretty sure people are fans of their own work.
Yeah. Maybe he's the sort of person that doesn't watch his own stuff. People do that. Stephen Fry does that.
And then I could,
Actually, I mean, you say that you would assume that people like their own material, but I mean, we've been pretty downbeat about our own shows.
Yeah, I know,
Consistently.
but our show isn't critically acclaimed and also massively popular. It's neither.
Well, it won't be with an attitude like that, James.
Yeah, well, our self-deprecating humour is what's going to win us our acclaim.
Flutter our eyelashes and they'll be like, oh, they hate themselves. Bless
Exactly.
them.
Exactly.
Give them a good slot.
Right, Miles, who are you going to go for?
Right, I was going to say Bruce Lee, the martial arts.
Oh yeah, the famous martial arts.
Because I thought past and present take advantage
Yeah.
of the past thing, because he's gone. But now, since you said that, I'm sort of thinking Carl Pilkington.
Oh, that would be
would be entertaining.
That would be a
It's
fantastic
like,
dinner.
get like lobster en croûte or is that a
Yeah.
meal? It sounds posh.
Yeah.
You'd get that and they'll be like,
It is.
what's this? Why do I want to eat a fish?
Basically, you just want a live
It'd be
version of
amazing.
An Idiot
Yeah,
Abroad.
basically.
Okay. All right.
It'd
That would be a
Genius.
very entertaining dinner to have, wouldn't it? Alec, anyone more intellectual than Carl Pilkington?
A lot more. I'm going with Sherlock Holmes.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, just trying to stay
I've read
in
a book
fashion.
about him.
Oh, wait, I say, Miles has read a book. I'm having dinner with the guy, and
You've probably seen him on TV or something. Have you?
I'm
No
not
answer
even.
to that.
I'm not even going to respond to this nonsense. Sherlock
Debacle.
Holmes.
should-
Sherlock
that's a good
Holmes.
answer.
that is a good. How interesting would that be to be like meet one of the most intelligent guys
Yeah.
in the fictional world?
Is anyone actually like him? Do you reckon?
Uh,
He's ridiculous.
Yeah, well,
Like
he's
thinking.
sort of in the TV show, because I'm, a completely unlearned individual
There's a
who's
TV show?
only seen the TV show, not read the books. In the TV show, he's almost sort of played as a sort of autistic character, isn't he?
Like, yeah.
So there are clearly people who have their sort of minds configured in that way.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd imagine there are probably quite a few
Hang on
people
a
that
sec.
can.
Are you just saying that because there are autistic people in the world, that there's going to be a load of people who are like Sherlock Holmes?
Well, no, I'm saying, but they might.
Like, there's people that can
who
remember
have-
a whole pack of cards. Like, the order of them. Things like that.
You are literally just thinking of Rayman now, aren't you?
I've never seen it.
Have you not?
Is that, you mean the game? Where you jump across? No, that's Rayman. Never mind.
Oh, it's awful.
I'm uncultured. That's the
That's
issue.
awful. But it's not really cultured seeing Rayman. It's Tom Cruise, isn't it?
Is it? I don't know.
Oh.
Don't talk to me about films I haven't seen. Like I haven't seen the Sherlock film. Is there one?
Oh, you're so annoying. So annoying. Dear me.
Well, yeah.
Anyway, the issue I find with this whole thing, though, is having dinner with someone is, do you choose a person because you find them interesting, because you find them fascinating, like you've chosen Carl Pilkington, Alex chosen Sherlock Holmes, or do you choose them because you're looking to gain something? I'm looking to either gain the presidency of the United States of America by having dinner with Barack Obama,
I don't think that works.
or some sort of role in the media by having dinner with Stephen Merchant. So
I
I don't think you become
not
president, James, of America by having dinner with the
no,
present
but you find out how he did it, and then I do it, and then I go on to do it myself. Find
magic
out his
formula.
secret. Yeah, exactly, exactly.
I'm pretty sure you've got to be American.
Can you be what is it? Naturalized? Is that what you call it?
Excuse me.
Naturist?
No, it's where you stay in a country long enough and then you become a legal citizen or
No
resident.
idea.
Yes.
Can you?
You can
Yes.
do that, and then can you become president?
I would have. Well, Barack
thought you
Obama
had
had
to be
enough
born
trouble,
in-
and he
Oh
was
yeah,
actually born
yeah,
in.
he had the whole birth certificate debacle.
Yeah.
Well, this show is getting political. We're going to start discussing real issues.
Are we?
No,
No, we're not.
obviously not. We're going to talk about celebrity chefs that steal things and phone boxes. That's our sort of level.
Okay, so like we said, we'll wrap up. Like I said, we're moving on to a new format.
Okay.
Okay, every 2 weeks we're going to have a radio show, and every other 2 weeks we're having the podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'd like to get you guys involved because obviously we're not going to be able to read out texts or emails with the podcast. Actually, we're not.
And
really-
probably not on the show because the system's broken.
Well, hopefully it will be fixed at some point in time.
I think if you just turn it on and off and on, it'll work. But I don't want to crash everything.
And also, that doesn't solve
And
anything,
I
Miles.
can't find the button that turns it off. So
Anyway, if you want to listen to Faces for Radio, get on our YouTube channel.
Get on our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, interact with us, and we'll read out some of your stuff on the podcast, and all will be well in the world.
We've got an amazing website.
do we?
Yeah. TheFacesForRadioWebsite.com. It just takes you to the YouTube channel. Yeah. Yeah. Get on YouTube. Get on Facebook, and we'll see you very soon. Hopefully next week.
Okay, this was Faces for Radio. I'm Alex Stratton-Lake.
I'm Miles Paul, and I'm sorry for everything.
Sorry for everything.
For the music.
I'm James Evans. We can't apologise enough.
Okay.
Baby,